We often take it for granted our life together. Being busy people, we often have trouble finding time for it, to be together, spend time together. In this day and age, we spend a lot of time in front of our screens, looking at things in a virtual world, but not necessarily having time to be together. We're born with a need to be loved into life, and our lives literally depend upon this, being loved and respected by others and doing the same for them. The Church of Jesus Christ is a proven demonstration of God's call to diverse people to gather together for a purpose, for a life together, and for a mission in God's name. It is as if God were shouting, the people of the world need each other. They need you. They need me. They need each other. That's just the way it is. And that is what this is all about, the quality of our life together as my beloved people. Part of the good news I hear from God is that you really don't know how great you can be, or how much you can love, how much you can accomplish, or what your potential is until you enjoy the fellowship of being together with others. It's simply the way we are made. Who is the person sitting next to you? You don't want to make each other feel too stared at this morning. But really, who is that person, or across the room from you, or wherever? You might come up with a name for starters, and if you ask for a description, you might hear someone say how tall, color of eyes and hair, other distinguishing characteristics. 2 Sundays or so ago, someone asked me who a new person was in church, and I really didn't know for sure who they were talking about, so I said, the one with 2 eyes, a nose, and mouth. Well, I got it right. None of these things sum up who a person is deep inside, though many spend a good deal of time on how they outwardly appear to others. The wonderful, captivating part of coming to know someone is in the sharing of the many invisible activities that are going on inside. We gradually learn about these when we spend time together, when we share stories with each other, when we sometimes discover old or new friends together. Every person has a need to be known, both to oneself. We have to know ourselves in order to present ourselves to others. In fact, we're rather difficult to get to know if we're uncertain as to who we are. Someone wants to know who we are, and if we don't know, then it's kind of hard for them to figure it out too. Although sometimes they can observe things we have overlooked. Each person near you is a unique world of experience. Each has a unique collection of memories of the past and needs and expectations about the future. Each person can do some things very, very well, whether they think so or not. They need to hear from you those affirmations. We all do. Each person is the only person in touch with how he or she feels and sees things and experiences things. And so the only way we can find out what that is to listen more and speak less. Some like Dunkin' Donuts coffee, some don't. I met someone the other day who didn't like chocolate chips. I didn't know anyone like that existed. Yes, out of my imagination. How fascinating though we all are. You can thank God for that. God has made us diverse. Thank God. In a sense, each person is like a community of people that each person has met over the years, and that in that community live still some who welcomed us at our birth, raised us in our earliest of years, the boys and girls whom we played with most, those with whom we attended school, those who labored to teach us our lessons, those with whom we competed, those who shared their faith with us, those who became our trusted friends. And the list, of course, goes on and on. All of that lives in each of us, like a community of people. Each person brings to us a world of experiences. Each person has a right to choose and make decisions. Each can live not only for self, but also for others. Jesus teaches us that this is among the most important things of life to do for others, to take what we are good at doing and to do it for others. That's why it's important to learn what we're good at doing and not be self-effacing to the point of not seeing the gifts that God has granted to each one of us. For then those are things to do with for others. We're called to serve. Not self, but service. That's a large part of what our life together is all about. Not just life in the church, but life in the world, as the world learns a little bit more about how to live together. And we have quite a ways to go out there. Not self, but service. Not self, but service. The claim of Jesus is that we become our best selves when we become the best of servants to others. Jesus sets the example and then calls others to follow suit and do the same. And when we accept a seat at the table, we're accepting his invitation. In serving others, we become their friends. Some years ago, I did a retreat, and at one time we asked everyone to write down thoughts about being friends. And I saved the list, and so I'm going to read that list. These are not all my thoughts, although some are, but they are the thoughts of those at that retreat. A friend is someone you'd be willing to change for, but who would never want you to. A friend is one of the nicest things you can have and one of the best things you can be. A friend is a living treasure, and if you have one, you have one of the most valuable gifts of life. A friend is one who always is beside you through all of the laughter, through each and every tear. A friend is the one thing you can always rely upon. A friend is a sanctuary. A friend is a smile. A friend is a hand that is always holding yours, no matter where you are, no matter how close or far apart you are. A friend is someone who is always there and will always, always care. A friend is a feeling of forever in the heart. A friend is the one door that is always open to you. A friend is the one to whom you can give your key. A friend is one of the nicest things you can have, and one of the best things you can be. This person wrote it in the form of a verse that rhymes a little. And then let me just add a couple more. A friend is one to whom you may pour out all of the contents of your heart, knowing that the gentlest of hands will take and sift it, keeping what is worth keeping. Then with a breath of kindness, blow the rest away. Rainbows of friendship color our days with a happiness that never seems to fade. They curve far beyond the horizon of here and now, but the treasure is at the end. There is no greater blessing than an understanding friend who's there in times of trouble, upon whom you can depend. A friend who knows our every need. One who is slow to criticize but quick to listen and to offer affirmation. There's no greater blessing than a friend who always cares. One who will remember us in daily thoughts and prayers. The only way to have a friend is to be one. Friendships are two-way streets. And here's a familiar one. At our Faith and Film series last night, it was drawn to our attention because I had said this somewhere before. You've heard it probably too, but wow, how wise it is. I went out to find a friend, and not a friend was there. I went out to be a friend, and friends were everywhere. Many times we need to be reminded that people need us as much as we need them. That we are in church not because we just happen to feel like it today, but because people need us here. Because we are a community of friends. We need each other. And the last word is, the best antiques are old friends. And I apologize for the word antiques if anyone thinks so. Anyway, let us pray. Oh God, thank you for calling us friend. You have gone out to be a friend. Now we hear your invitation to respond in kind. Help us to become your disciples more fully every day, freed by your faith, affirmed by your forgiveness and the gifts that you have granted us, that we may put them into practice in your name, with one another first and then with the world outside these walls. Amen.